Hello students. Today our topic is DC characteristics of op-amp. So an ideal op-amp draws no current from the source and its response is also independent of temperature. However, a real op-amp doesn't work this way. Current is taken from the source to input terminals because of the mismatch in transistors. The two inputs respond differently to current and voltage. Also, op-amp shift in operation due to its temperature. So these non-ideal characteristics that adds error components to the DC output voltage are input bias current, input offset voltage, and thermal drift. Input bias current. The op-amp is a differential amplifier which may be of BJT or FET. In either case, the input transistor must be biased into their linear region by supplying current into the bases by the external circuit. The ideal op-amp draws no current from the input terminal, but practically op-amp terminals to conduct a small value of current. Manufacturers specify this current as bias current denoted by IB. Look into this diagram. The first one is the input bias current. IB minus is the input bias current at the negative terminal, that is inverting terminal, and IB minus is the bias current at the positive terminal. Hence, the second diagram is the inverting amplifier with bias currents. Since the power supply is given to the inverting terminal, now the current input bias current is the average value of the base entering into the terminal. So IB is equal to IB plus IB minus divided by 2. So this 741, a bipolar op-amp, the bias current is 500 nanoamps or less. Consider the basic inverting amplifier. If the input voltage Vi is set to 0 volts, then V0 should also be at 0 volts. Instead, we can find that V0 is equal to IB minus into RF. Hence, for a op-amp with 1 mega ohm and base current 500 nanoamps, the resulting output voltage will be 500 millivolt. This is unacceptable, and this effect can be compensated by adding a R component resistor between the inverting and non-inverting input terminal and ground. So therefore develop the current IB plus flowing through the compensating resistor develops a voltage V1 across it. Then by KVL we may obtain V0 is equal to V2 minus V1. Then by selecting the proper value of R compensation, the IB current will be IB plus is equal to V1 divided by R compensation. So next, the node at voltage at A is minus V1. Hence, the input voltage Vi is equal to 0. So thus we can obtain current I1 and current I2. So the I1 current is V1 by R1 and I2 current is V2 by RF. KCL at node A gives finally by KCL at node A, we may obtain the input bias current as V1 R1 plus RF divided by R1 RF. Hence, the R compensation would be R1 parallel to RF. To compensate bias currents, R compensation should be equal to parallel combination of resistors tied to the inverting terminal. Next one is the input offset current. The difference in magnitudes of IB plus and IB minus is called the input offset current, and it is denoted by IOS. So that this bias current compensation will work if both the IB plus and IB minus are equal. Since the input transistors are not identical, there is a small difference between IB plus and IB minus. This difference is called input offset current and can be written as IOS modulus is equal to IB plus minus IB minus. For BJT it is 200 nanoamps, and for FET it is 10 picoamps. Hence, with bias current compensation, we may get V1 is equal to IB plus R compensation, and um, finally, therefore, V0 is equal to RF IB plus minus IB minus. So, V0 is equal to RF IOS. With the bias current compensation and with feedback resistor 1 mega ohm, a BJT op amp has the output voltage 200 millivolt. So this is with zero input voltage. So it can be seen that the effect of offset current can be minimized having a small value of RF. Unfortunately, R1 must be kept large to have high input impedance. If R1 is large, then RF is also large. So has to have a reasonable gain. This will allow large feedback resistance while keeping the resistance to ground. So here we can use a T feedback network. This T feedback network is a good solution. This will allow large feedback resistance while keeping the resistance to ground, as it is shown in dotted line. The T network provides a feedback signal as if the network were a single feedback resistor. So by T to pi conversion, the to design a T network, first RT is less than RF by 2. So next one is the input offset voltage. So in input offset voltage, we may have two types. One is input offset voltage and the other one is total output offset voltage. So input offset voltage is nothing but whenever both the input terminals of the op amp are ground, ideally the output voltage should be 0. However, in this condition, the practical op amp shows a small non-zero output voltage. To make this output voltage 0, one may have to apply a small voltage at the input terminal. This voltage is called input offset voltage. It is denoted as VOS since the positive terminal is at ground. Vi is equal to 0 volt. Next, the voltage at V2 at the input terminal is given by R1 divided by R1 plus RF into V0. Next, VOS is equal to 0 minus V2 is equal to V2. So V0 is equal to 1 plus RF by R1 into VOS. Thus, the output offset voltage of an op amp in a closed loop configuration is V0 is equal to is the same as that of the inverting amplifier configuration. Next one is the total output offset voltage. So the total output offset voltage VOT could either more or less than the total output offset voltage produced at the output due to the input bias current or input offset voltage alone. This is because input offset voltage VIOS and input bias current IB could either be positive or negative with respect to the ground. Therefore, the maximum offset voltage at the output of an inverting and non-inverting amplifier would be more. Hence, without compensation technique, the maximum offset voltage at the input and output of the inverting and non-inverting amplifier would be VOT is equal to 1 plus RF by R1 VIOS plus RF plus IB. So with OR compensation, it will be like VOT is equal to 1 plus RF by R1 VOS plus RF IOS. So many offset provide offset compensation pins to nullify the offset voltage. So for a 741 op amp, the manufacturers recommended 10 kilo ohm potentiometer to be placed across offset null pins 1 and 5 and the wiper be connected to the negative supply pin 4. The position of the wiper is adjusted to nullify the output offset voltage. Next one is the thermal drift. The bias current, offset voltage change with temperature. A circuit nullified at 25 degrees centigrade may not remain so when the temperature rises to 35 degrees centigrade. This is called drift. Offset current drift is expressed in nanoamps per degree centigrade. Offset voltage drift is expressed in millivolt per degree centigrade. So the technique to minimize the effect of drift include full PCB layout must be tested to keep op-amp away from source of heat. Forced air cooling may be used to stabilize the ambient temperature. So overall, we may have the error components like input bias current, input offset current, input offset voltage, total output offset voltage, and the thermal drift. So thermal drift. Thank you.